Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of Kill of the Week. I am one of your hosts, Brandon, along with my cohorts here. So why don't we go around the room and you all say your name, starting with you.
Okay, I'm Jill.
I'm Julia.
Julia, and then, whoever wants to go.
Josh.
And I'm Chris.
Yeah,
Perfect.
You got to come up with like an order. How are you going to be like, oh, and then Chris, say your name, and then
because I keep forgetting that our screens aren't the same as like who's in what square. So it's like the worst thing of Hollywood squares when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's
anyway,
new every week.
Wait, what was that?
I was like, it's new every week.
Yeah.
It is. Mix it up a little bit, keep it fresh.
I like being the last one because then I can be like, and I'm, but
We should make ourselves into Hollywood squares.
Should do Hollywood squares.
Like the Brady Bunch of each other. We should do that as a promo video for Kill the Week, where we're all like the Brady Bunch squares, like staring at each other.
Yeah, we could do that.
It sounds like it'd be hard to coordinate.
Yeah, we can put like the pumpkin in the middle, like someone can wear the costume and
that's great.
like,
It'd be like a mime. And it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the man in the box.
nice.
Anyway, who picked this one? Was it you?
I think it's between you and I.
Between the two of us? Okay. Well, this week we are eating mid-podcast, which is fine because it wouldn't be a kill of the week if someone wasn't eating. And I love that because what goes better with horror than food? It all works out.
See, the tomato sauce is kind of his blood.
Yeah.
You know.
So this week we are talking about the 2010 version of Frozen, not Disney.
The original Frozen.
The Adam Green Frozen film from 2010. This movie was written and directed by Adam Green. If people are familiar with Adam Green, you would know him from the show Holliston. He also did the Hatchet series, the Victor Crowley films, Digging Up the Marrow, and he is also one of the hosts of the Movie Crib podcast, which he hosts with Joe Lynch. The movie itself stars Shawn Ashmore, which everyone knows as Iceman. I think I got the right Ashmore for that one.
I always forget that he is a twin.
Yeah, Shawn and Aaron Ashmore.
Yeah.
I'm going to correct myself right now in case I got it wrong, because twins. Hashtag twins. Yes, it is Iceman. So nailed it. Emma Bell and Kevin Zegers are the three stars of this film. So one of our co-hosts who couldn't have been here today, which is Jess, wanted me to bring up, before we move forward, she wanted me to bring up the fact that when she did watch this film, she could not separate the fact that Kevin Zegers was also in Air Bud.
Was he also in High School Musical, or is just one that
Looked like him.
They all look the same.
That was Zac Efron.
One of the
Tell me they
greatest
don't look
movies
the
of
same.
all time.
Yeah. Okay.
They
Well, because
do.
Chris has a tendency to Disney movies.
Yeah. What'd you say, Josh?
Oh no, I said Air Bud, a classic of art. Great. I love Air Bud of all time, and they definitely look the same. You can't tell me they're
Fair.
Yeah.
How fun is it? Like, why don't you tell the kill then? I talked about the movie. You tell us what kill we're talking about for Frozen.
I forget his character's name, but we're talking about Kevin Zegers. For the first death of the movie, when Kevin Zeger falls from the chairlift and is eaten by the wolves. So those of you that don't know Frozen, it basically follows three people that are stuck on a chairlift overnight in the snow and their attempted survival.
He plays the character Dan Walker.
Dan Walker. Yes. So Dan Walker
Was not walking after that.
he
Nope.
and died.
And full circle of him to get eaten by wolves after being in Air Bud.
Yep. Didn't even think of that connection. That's ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What
All
can you
right.
say? The man loved dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think they loved him.
So I don't know necessarily the first time that I saw Frozen. I feel like you showed it to me at some point because I basically was introduced to Adam Green with the Holliston series. I believe was the first time I knew of him.
Okay.
And I fell in love with everything Adam Green and Joe Lynch everything they did just followed them along. Frozen definitely stuck with me, especially this kill. It's all of the things leading up to the kill and all the emotions that go into it, and the feelings of the way it's shot is gorgeous. The whole thing was just very well done, and has always stuck with me. I am disappointed that they did have a cameo. I was gonna say I was disappointed they didn't have a cameo. You do see at the beginning when they're on the chairlift, you do see Joe and Adam on the lift behind them yelling. Yeah, so I was happy to see them pop up.
In the beginning, when the chairlift first kind of, the foreshadowing of the film, the chairlift stops in the beginning, right, as they're doing it. You see Adam and Joe on chairlifts behind them going, oh, like, what the fuck, come on, or whatever. So Adam does have a small cameo.
They always have cameos on their stuff.
They always have cameos.
So, yes. So I love Adam and Joe. I love Frozen and Holliston.
Josh, when was the first time you watched this movie?
So the first time I watched was last week, and it was, well, for the time that it came out, it was the right pace, and I liked that it was only, I think, around 90-ish minutes. It felt longer, but I think that was intentional and it worked well, because if you're stranded, it is going to feel like forever. And the kill itself, I liked it because it made sense. This is what would happen. You shouldn't have jumped off that way. You could have just thought a little bit longer, different ways, in my opinion.
He was panicking.
Well, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll dissect that kill because I'm curious to talk about that.
I will hold it, but it was definitely justified when that happened, and I felt good.
Damn, you were like right there with Brandon and Mufasa. You're just like, it's justified. You're an ass. Mm-hmm. God, you guys have no souls.
It's wolves in the woods.
Jesus Christ.
Moving on to Chris. I know you said you watched like 2/3 of it, so
yeah.
When's the first time you checked it out?
Last week. Got sidetracked, didn't get a chance to finish it. But you know, I watched a good deal of it. I know that well, in terms of the kill, the whole thing just seems very comical to me. I don't know. It just like it's a really good one because it's you know, like I remember going on a skiing trip with my family when I was a kid, and my mom freaking out whenever the chairlift would stop. And I had no idea that someone actually made a movie about that.
Now, I imagine it has to stop, right, to let people on and off. So it'd be like a Ferris wheel. It has to.
Yeah, sometimes it stops, and sometimes it's like, you know, because somebody didn't quite get on the chairlift or whatever. But like, there's always that fear. It's like, what, like when you're like the only person on the chairlift, when it's not as crowded and you don't see anybody in front of you or behind you, and there's nobody on the hill. What if it just stops? And what if you just get stuck up there? Like, what if they forgot about you? And it's just to me, the whole situation is almost like kind of comical in that regard. The way they're all just kind of panicking. Like, I didn't really feel too much for these characters as they, like, I mean, I felt for them, like, being like in that situation, but I don't know. I just thought that the guy was kind of a jerk. And I think this was almost a sort of poetic justice for him. And he's just panicking, can't handle himself under stress. And I'm just going to fall. It's like, are you kidding me, man? It's like 100 feet. Like, you can't make it. And of course, his bones pop out of his legs in the most comical way possible. Like, you know, like,
I never thought of this as being comical. I'm interested in that perspective.
I don't know. I just thought this guy was a jerk, and I thought they built him up as a jerk. I thought they built up a friend as a jerk. I didn't like how they were so condescending to the female in the group the entire time. And it was just kind of like, not that this has any relation to the type of people that they are, or that they deserved what happened to them, but I don't know. I just think they just struck me as doofuses, you know? Like, I feel like they could have found a more clever way out of their situation, and they're just panic and stupidity kind of like led to their downfall more so than being stuck in a chairlift.
Fair. I have some stuff on that, but Julie, have you checked this movie out or no?
No, that clip I saw just now is the first time I've seen it.
Hell yeah.
I agree with the comical part about it, though.
Yeah.
Not knowing the characters, it is comical. And it's almost as if, like, his decision to jump was his hubris talking. This his pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. And I agree with Josh. A lot of times in films, I'm on the side of the animal. So, like, they were just hungry. That's all.
The animals eat.
They needed dinner.
No, I will say we'll get into it further, but I feel like part of him falling was almost like a semi-suicide attempt. Like he knew he probably wasn't going to make it, and he didn't want to die on the chairlift.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know. I mean, if you're like you're hopeful, like I'm going to make it, but then you're like, I'm probably not, and because they make a mention that they're going to be closed all weekend. That it's they're gone, or it's like a week. That it was like it was Sunday, so it's not going to open up again until Friday.
Memorial Day weekend.
So it's basically
like that.
No, I think it was Sunday, and then they would open up again on Friday. So the idea that you're going to be stuck there for a week, like at what point do you give up?
Yeah,
and you're like, I'm going to die, because I don't remember. Did it happen in 24 hours that they died like within the same day?
Only 2 of them made it to the next day. He dies the first night.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what really got me about it. Like they didn't like that dude did not wait very long to take extremely drastic measures. You know, like they had been stopped there for like almost like a couple hours. They saw the guy drive up in the thing, and then drive away. And then he's just like, all right, screw it, I'm jumping. I don't want to be stuck in the middle between my bro and my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like that whole symbolic, like, I don't want to have to deal with this.
That's fair. Do you want to talk about your experience with Frozen?
Yeah, so the first time that I saw it, I want to say I saw it not too long after it came out, only because I was already a fan of Adams from the Hatchet movies. My first time seeing it, I think this was back when Netflix did DVDs still. And that might have been a Netflix rental for me to have checked it out, because I remember that's how I saw Hatchet the first time, and I really dug the first Hatchet film. But I think back then when I first watched it, I remember thinking of it where I felt like a pretentious douche for being like, oh, this is like such elevated horror at the time of
I mean, they were literally elevated.
Yes, they were literally elevated in the air. But no, like the idea of non-gory terror, like more of a thriller, to be like, oh, like if you find this movie boring, you don't understand it. Like that was like my mentality back then.
You were a douchebag.
I was a douchebag, like I said. Like I felt very pretentious about it, only because it was that idea of like, no, like the real life situation of this is the horror. It's not blood and gore. And then as you know, watching it later and later in life, I'm like, I still really enjoy this movie, but I do see the lulls, because the conversations aren't as well written to keep you engaged in the characters. And it's because like every conversation, it's them trying to calm themselves down. And it's like talking about memories or something like that. And again, like it's kind of like you're talking about these things of characters you don't really care about. Because I do agree with Chris, they are very condescending like to each other, and they are kind of doofy. That it's like Shawn Ashmore's character is complaining that the girlfriend's on like the bro trip, and the guy brings the girlfriend, and he's so, I guess, like butthurt about it. And it's just like, okay, I get your sense, but you are kind of annoying at the same time. But I will say it's still terrifying to like think about that situation. Like, oh my God, I'm stuck in a chairlift. And as someone who's not a fan of heights, it's like absolutely fucking horrifying.
It's not pleasant.
No, I can't imagine that. Like the idea of like my feet just dangling like freaks me out, like that high up. But yeah, that was like my first experience of kind of feeling like kind of pretentious to be like, you guys don't even know, blah blah blah, and like I was such a dick back then. Now I can
you're not. No.
I can see the error of my ways now. I still love this movie personally. I still recommend it to people to watch it because conceptually it is done well, shot gorgeously. We had Will Barrett was the DP. Will Barrett shot everything that Adam Green has ever done. So he shot all of Holliston. He shot all the Hatchet films except for Victor Crowley. But he's his like main go-to guy, which is great because his eye is great for this type of stuff. One of the things that I thought was like really cool was they shot this entirely on a mountaintop. So nothing was done in studio. They actually went to a ski resort and shot on the lifts. There was no green screen, no soundstage, no CGI. The actors and actresses were truly suspended over 50 feet in the air on the side of a real mountain in Utah.
It's terrifying.
Is,
In
how
Utah?
they shot it.
So real wolves.
Real wolves. Yes,
Yeah,
they had
yeah.
real wolves.
They were trained and safe. They had animal trainers with them. But...
So the crew that was on this film is that you had like your animal trainers. You had Tamara Brock, who was going by Tamara Reynolds at the time. Elizabeth Chassis, who is Edie McMullen. That's what she's credited as. Chris Edrington, Barbara Gaddy Eddington, Jeff Lee, Steve Martin, and Paul Sled Reynolds, who was the lead for all the animal training stuff. Like they brought the wolves in and basically were working with the crew to make sure that they were all safe in this and well put together. One of the things is that Kevin Zegers did a scene with the wolves starting to swarm around him just before the actual attack without a stunt double. And when one of the wolves got too close for comfort, the trainers had to pull the wolves away and filming had to stop. There's actually like a few frames of the film where there's like a black wolf walking right up to Kevin Zegers' face as Kevin tries to look away for help from the crew. So they just kind of let them be on set. And there's like over 2 hours worth of like behind the scenes footage of them with the wolves and showing them like them howling at the moon and like the trainers dealing with them. And it was like so cool to like watch them like be wolves and naturally like roaming and frolicking in the snow.
Yeah, but it was also like how they got different reactions was amazing. Watching what the trainer would do to get different reactions from the wolves.
I'm so peanut butter and jealous of that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's amazing. The whole thing was amazing. Like watching how they put it together. Basically, like one of the favorite things I have of a movie is the interpretation and how the script was written to how the actors interpret it. Because I assume I've obviously not one of the writers. Like you guys can speak more to writing a script and then how it's interpreted. But just knowing from a producer standpoint, Brandon writes something and then I go in and read it and how we interpret what he wants us to do, and then how you guys interpret it as actors. It changes in so many different ways. And when you have the right people you're working with, it just grows and more than what you imagined it to be. So it's always amazing. In this particular case, we had our soon-to-be dead boyfriend that he interpreted the script that they were going on the ski trip as, you know, the bros going on their ski trip, the girlfriend tags along, and he took the script as he was going to break up with the girlfriend after this trip, that he thought she was an annoyance. So if you watch the film with the idea that he's annoyed by her, you can see the tone that he has and like the kind of pushing her off. She actually, I think Adam liked that interpretation. So then he told Emma the opposite. And he told Emma as a director, like he's going to propose to you on this ski trip. So you have two actors with two completely different opposite opinions of what's going to happen. So one's taking it as annoyed and just like, get away from me. And the other one's like, oh my God, I love you. We're going to get engaged. And you can see that their body language and how it goes on. So especially leading up to the kill, like even in that interpretation, like he's about to break up with her. His final words are saying like, don't let her look. And as much as he comes off like a douchebag, it's still like semi-selfless act. I do realize like I didn't think about the whole time of like, this happens within 24 hours, like less than that. Then you haven't even been on the ski lift for like 5 hours and you're ready to jump off and be done. It's not like 3 days later on like an island. You're just like, I'm good. I'm going to just jump off. I don't know if I ever interpreted him as trying to be like hero-ish to save them, I guess was part of the goal, but it also came off like semi-suicidal that, you know, I just don't
I took it as him being a hero.
I think that's why like I kind of found it like kind of comical because I really did not I don't understand the motivation for that lack of I wish our protagonist could have like stuck it out a little bit longer. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
kind of it reminded me of that episode of South Park where they're in the community center filming that Unsolved Mysteries TV show or whatever, and then the power goes out and they get snowed in and they immediately result to cannibalism.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like that a little bit, where they really just went way too fast on like taking drastic measures.
Well, I think it was more or less him just being like, there's no other choice. Like one of us has to get like you already established that everyone left, that they're closed. It's established that they're going to be closed the entire weekend because of severe storms. So I really think it was one of those things. So it's like, honestly, if I was in that situation, I don't think I would sit around for 4 days or however long waiting for them to come back. Like, I think I would.
Someone's got to do something.
Someone has to do something. I don't think I would be the one necessarily to jump. But
someone's got to do something. You do.
But
it.
I think but I'm being realistic. Yeah. Like I think it's that mentality of like, well, someone's going to have to do something. Yeah. We can't be here all night and or all weekend rather. So I think it was more of the act of like heroism to be like, no, like I'm going to be the one to do it. Like I know he was confident. He was fully confident before he jumped to be like, no, I can do this. It'll be fine. And then obviously he landed straight on his legs, which you never do. You tuck and roll when you jump.
Yeah, you're supposed to go limp.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why I kind of agree with Chris because I'm like, he just jumped way too early. At least wait until the sun comes up. Sleep on it.
That's what his friend said. That's what his friend said.
You can see like in their makeup, you can see that frostbite's already setting in and like how bitter cold it was. So I do understand the idea of like, what is the point in waiting longer? It's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
And like the less likely to find someone. So I get it from both sides. I can definitely see where we could have had more like a cut to like the next morning or cut to like 2 days later. But I think because of extreme cold, it makes sense that it happened a little faster.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where like if we don't do something now, we're going to starve, or if we don't starve, we're going to freeze to death before we starve. So someone had to make that choice. One of the things that I really enjoyed about it is that there is a lot of other realism that is put into this because like when like I'm that guy that watches all the behind the scenes shit. So like I watched like the 2.5 hours of shit that they put out about this. So like when Adam wrote the script and they were location scouting, like they were riding the chairlift and they were like him and Will Barrett were going like, no, this isn't high enough. This isn't high enough. Like they're literally riding the ski lift to think like, where is the actual point to where you would get significantly maimed if you were to jump down? Yeah. So like they're riding up the chairlift, and one of the stories that they told, which I thought was like really cool, was when they were like, "Oh, this is definitely the point. Like if we go like right around here, this would be great." Like their chairlift stops, and it's like, "Oh, I guess it's fucking fate. Like this is where we have to do it because it's like that just amount of stuff." And like they did a lot of inspecting of the stuff because like even in that scene, Sean Ashmore's character does do the whole rope climb to the other thing.
He doesn't get to the other thing.
I thought he did at some point.
No, maybe later, but in that particular scene, he gets like 2 feet and then has to come back because of his gloves.
Yeah, but they show that it's all just metal and wire as coils. It's not rope. So it rips apart his palms. And like, they wrote in that realism of like all the possible scenarios of like what you can actually do, which I thought was really cool about that.
That's true. I do think nothing is scarier than the actual real world sometimes. So that did come across very well, I will say.
Yeah, it was a really, really cool like situation. I'm really glad that somebody made a movie about this because oh man, was that harrowing.
Yeah.
So there's a scene, there's shots where they did show the character getting eaten by the wolves, but they actually cut it out because they didn't think the blood and gore would be fitting for the film itself. It doesn't really like fit the tone of the movie, and it's a lot more brutal when you just imagine it rather than seeing it. You know, your imagination can do much more than what your brain is.
Absolutely. Well, the reaction shots. It was that whole thing was just the reaction shots of the friends, just like holding each other and like crying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they did it beautifully. Like their acting was incredible.
That's how you do
They
that.
did such a great job.
You know what? I just realized there was a similar scene in a season of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry, this exact same thing happened. I think this is where he got the idea for this movie. Maybe it's like Larry is on a ski lift and they're going up, and he's trying to like trick this doctor that he's a Hasidic Jew or something, and he's stuck there with the doctor's like to bump up his friend on the list of like kidney donations or something, and he's on the ski lift with the doctor's daughter, right, who really doesn't like this guy, obviously, Larry, and they get stuck on the ski lift and the sun starts going down. And he's like, "You got to be shitting me. I got no bars on my phone." They're just like stuck there and they have no idea how to get down. And the girl's just like, "Yeah, I can't be with you after," because they're like all super religious, and she's like, "I can't be with you after sunset. Like, I have to leave. Like, I have to get down." And he starts getting hungry, and he pulls out a pack of edible panties out of his coat that he got earlier, and he starts munching on edible panties.
Oh my god!
If only that were in Frozen.
And then as the sun was setting, she's like, "I have to jump. Like, I have to jump." And he's like, "Are you fucking nuts?" And she jumps, and he just looks down. Like, fuck. He finally gets signal back on his phone. He calls his friends, like, "Yeah, I don't think we're getting that kidney."
Yeah. So I have like one
I
burning.
don't know what to do with that.
That's great.
I have one burning question about this movie that bugged me ever since I first saw it. So, do the wolves only come out at night, or like, does the ski resort have people that are kind of like keeping the wolves at bay? Like, I understand it's like the forest and everything.
No, I would assume that the amount of commotion that would happen during a regular ski day would be enough to keep them away. Because it would be, it seems like a very popular ski lift with the amount of people you see like in the beginning. So all the commotion of having bodies moving around, I imagine that they stay to themselves.
Like more scared of us than we are of them. If it's many of us.
It's like wolves are, they know what they're doing. They're hyper intelligent. Like, they're gonna wait till after dark, and that's it goes along with like the realism of this whole situation. Is one wolf came and like was barking at him, and then ran off. And once I saw that happen, it's like that wolf's gonna come back with their pack to get this guy, right? And that's exactly what happened. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they steer clear of people during the day. They know what they're doing.
No, that's fair. I was just curious about it because, like, I would even imagine like there would be like a scout of a wolf.
Yeah.
Because the only foreshadowing, because like that's kind of what this movie is. This movie is like a series of foreshadows of everything that happens in it. Because Kevin Zegers' character talks about like being eaten by sharks at one point, and he gets eaten by wolves in this, you know. So I feel like that was, I guess, like the misdirection of like, oh, like it would suck to be eaten by sharks, and then let alone he gets eaten, because they were like, there's like one bit of dialogue of like worst way to die, and Sean Ashmore's character says the Sarlacc pit from Star Wars, and he brings up the shark thing. So I guess that was supposed to be like the misdirect, because it makes me think of if anyone's ever seen Return of the Living Dead, when they're talking about when Trash is talking with the one character, I'm blanking on his name right now, When it's like, oh, you ever think about like the worst way to die? Like I always think the worst way to die is like being like eaten and ripped apart alive, and she gets eaten by zombies later in the movie. That's kind of what that made me think of.
I used to think it was suffocating until I just thought about that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, actually, like, what is everyone's worst way to die?
Well, it's that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one. That's a good one.
Chris, what's your worst way to die?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna go with crushed in a collapsed building.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that would be, because just imagine being like just like your entire body just smashed to bits and no one can get to you, and you just slowly like it's like being buried alive, but being like crippled by like the everything around you. I think that would be pretty bad.
Fair. How about you, Julie?
Oh, I'm gonna go really, really, really dark. And like, anybody see Room?
A long time ago.
Oh, where
I
she's
saw The Room.
abducted. Oh, okay. Where she's like abducted and then kept in the closet for like years and like raped to death.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
the
do
worst
it.
one. I'll be crushed over that.
Yeah.
I'll take a rock any day.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dark.
That's fucked up. Brandon, what's your worst way to die?
For me, so I have two. One is drowning, because I do not know how to swim.
I love telling the lifeguards that. Too.
Yeah, I tell lifeguards that all the time. If I'm in a public pool, I'll be like, I can't swim, and I will purposely walk to the deep end to see what they do.
They just get up and slowly follow him.
But yeah, drowning, because like large bodies of water freak me out. Like that idea of I remember going to this lake in Jersey. I think it was Belmont Lake, and I was like working my way in, and like literally you're like bouncing where you still feel the sand, and then it just stopped, and like my foot went and I kept going. Instant fucking horror. Like, nope, I'm not. Don't care, not doing it. So drowning is a big fear of mine. And basically any kind of like cataclysmic event to where like let's say, for instance, like a giant meteor coming. Like basically the idea of you see something that's coming and it is inevitable, like that's it. And you can do nothing but wait. That is like the worst thing for me.
See, that's my
psychological part.
Yeah. See, for me, I feel like that's the way I'd want to die. Right? It's like I get like a presidential alert from my phone being like, the missiles are on their way. You take shelter. They will hit major cities in 30 seconds. Like, well, it's the motherfucking apocalypse. Let's go. You know what I mean?
We're not going to believe it if it happened today.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, sure. Whatever you say on Truth Social.
Yeah. All right. How about you?
I think I would never end up in this situation because of this fear. But like, I heard that there was a gentleman who was like, I think it's called spelunking when they're in the cave. And he was spelunking and he went into a tunnel that he thought he could get out of. And he was kind of like face down and like at an angle. So all the blood rushing to his head, and he couldn't get out and got stuck there. To the point that they've actually closed off that section of the cave because there's no way of getting his body out.
Yeah.
So that idea of like every other fear that I've had previously felt more immediate. That idea, that slow death of like, there's no way out and you're stuck and there's no other option. Like I used to be drowning because the idea of like the pressure and all of that building up, but that feels too immediate. The idea of like slow death is scarier. That you're stuck there, you can't move your body, you have no control of your space. The air, you're starving. Like, all of that is happening.
It's a running theme of all three of us.
Damn.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. And or my real fear of death is 4 more years of the world that we have.
Going into the making of this kill, in particular, the actual like to shy away from how we all don't want to die. Let's go into how they killed this human in the actual practicality sense. which was so this movie was made on a budget. It clearly had a budget. I mean,
we were on a budget. What was our budget?
Okay, you have to. No, we were on a very minuscule micro budget versus like something that had studio money, not necessarily studio money, but like it had some money behind it. It was still considered it's still considered a low budget film. I'm trying to find the actual budget for it. But and you can see it in the you can see it in the kill itself, like when they obviously have the fake legs on the sticks and they bring it down to show the leg breaks. They actually have the fake legs that snap. And then the rest of the kill itself is done with him sitting in the snow. So like you can only do so much.
I do think they used their money well.
That's what I was going to get into. Yeah. The fact that like they knew how to use their money. They knew how to make effective shots. They knew exactly how to make just that whole thing be fucking horrifying. Why can I not find the actual?
Well, I think while you're finding that, I'll say I think you can always tell with a movie when it's someone that loves the genre that they're in is making a movie versus like a hired gun for a movie that they don't care about. Like you can tell that this is made by a fan of horror that loves the idea of being scared and scaring other people and loves that universe. The one thing I love about the making of Frozen is that he has, like we talked about before, like he has his team of people. And I think it's something we very much relate to, that you find your group and you stay together and you, whatever you do, you just go in together and do it. So when they came to the studio to make this project, they said, we already have our people. Like we just basically need your money. And I felt that was very much like us.
Yeah, the company that helped with that was called A Bigger Boat. And this, I believe, was their
inaugural.
Their first film as a studio to do, which was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I cannot find the budget for this movie. So, I mean, it's not on like IMDb or IMDb Pro. Those are the sources that I'm looking through. I mean, it made $131,395 on opening weekend, but I can only imagine that it probably was in very select theaters, possibly. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be like, oh, it made such a little movie. It probably didn't have as much exposure, and I believe that is because, and we're gonna get into like a little bit of a fun fact. There's not really much to talk about for the making of this kill. Kind of talked a little bit about it with the wolves surrounding the guy. They had the trainers. We know how they did it. It was awesome.
$25 million budget.
$25 million for that. Okay.
And they made $53.3 million.
Got it. Okay.
Low budget.
Wait.
Right. Low budget. Right.
Yeah.
23 million.
The perspective, 25 million being low budget is wild to me. I would always love to see what would, like, that question to the directors and filmmakers, like, what would you have done if you had double the budget you had, no matter the size budget? Like, what would you do if you had even more? Would have been interesting. Like, he had those beautiful crane shots. Like, they used their budget.
I don't think he needed anything else because they had the condors. They had a bunch. They got a really decent lighting kit.
Yeah. I just that general question always of like, what would you do if you had more?
No, that's fair.
I think 5 seems a bit high, though.
So one of the things with this, and this is something that I find very fascinating about this movie, is that I'm trying to find, I thought I put it in my notes, but I guess I didn't put it in my notes. But basically, this movie came out 9 months, I believe, before 7 months. This movie came out 7 months before the sequel to Hatchet came out. So Adam Green made both movies. He did Frozen, he did Hatchet's 1 through 4. So Hatchet 2 came out 7 months after Frozen, and Hatchet was his baby. That's the movie Green is most known for is the Hatchet series. And it feels like with that in mind, that means Hatchet was already done in post-production, being cut together at the same time as Frozen was. So he was pulling double duty as director on those films. Had to have been. He had to have been doing them simultaneously for them to have that thing. But I think it reflects on the story and the execution of Frozen that it is a very bare minimum, one location, one everything, more dialogue based script, that he was able to shoot that the way that it was and get it in the can 7 months before the big one came out of Hatchet 2. And this film is actually connected to Hatchet 2, which is really fucking cool, as like a little Easter egg in Hatchet 2 where it talks about Emma Bell's character suing the ski lift company for having them stuck on the ski lift for the movie. So I thought that was pretty
Spoiler,
cool.
she lives.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
We'll
Emma
get to
Bell
that at the
lives.
end of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that, of working on 2 major films at the same time, but it makes sense on Frozen being a little simpler.
Yeah,
in
but
theory.
now, question for everybody: do you think that hurt Frozen? That if he wasn't simultaneously assuming he was simultaneously in production on Hatchet 2, do you think that hurt Frozen? Like Frozen could have been more or less?
Based off what it was, I don't think it hurt it too much, because if you're stuck on a ski lift, you're already, in my opinion, not working with a whole lot. Like, you're in the air. You got, and you can't usually do too much unless you're adding special effects or more money, basically. And I think, yeah. I'm sorry, I lost it, but
I
know what you
yeah. Your point came across.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think?
Of what now?
Do you think with him being in simultaneous productions between
with that? No, I don't seem. It seems like he had a pretty good handle on that. I mean, like a lot of this production, like you can just kind of tell, like it was. I feel like it would have been a pretty simple. Like, there's not a lot of company moves. It's just like one location. You know what I mean? And I think that's the type of thing that's perfect as a project alongside the other thing you're working on. You know what I mean? So that you don't have to juggle too many things at once. So I think it turned out really well. I mean, like, I don't think it could have. I mean, maybe he could have. I think the movie's failings are more just kind of like on the exposition standpoint. Like, I would have liked to learn more about the characters themselves in the time leading up to like the event, being stuck on the chairlift. And I feel like it kind of the script as it was written didn't deliver on that as much as I would have liked. Like, I would have liked to have seen more. Like a more elegantly crafted exposition, but like, again, like I feel like that's not something that would really be impacted by doing 2 productions at once, because you know what I mean. Like, because once something's in production, it's like, you know, all those pre-production things are already like they're done. You know.
Fair. So. On IMDb Pro, it kind of has like the production status specs for that. So it looks like filming for Frozen started on February 17th, 2009. Hatchet 2 filming was January 4th, 2010. Post-production, they were in the post bays at almost the exact same time. Post started. They don't have any of the end dates for Hatchet 2 on here, so we'll take IMDb Pro as it gives us. Post production on Hatchet 2 started March 15th, 2010. Post production for Frozen was March 26th. No, it was a year apart. My fault. They were 1 year apart for everything. So Frozen was shot first, and then Hatchet 2. So one led directly into the other. Damn. Okay, so he wasn't simultaneously doing. Had to have been in pre-production ahead of that.
I still can't even imagine
good.
finishing one and doing. I mean, we do that on a short scale where we're doing pre-production while we're shooting something else and multitasking, but that is a simple short film compared to two giant feature films. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously that comes with having proper, scale of crew that is needed. And I don't think anything was lacking because of the balance of the two. I agree that things that might have been better were already handled prior. Like the script was already done and things were already handled. So I don't know what he would have necessarily done differently. I almost feel like more time might have been worse. Because if you just keep looking at a painting and keep going back in and changing it, like you can kind of just muddy it up, versus like having to get in, do it, and move on, might have actually come up with a better product in that regard. I do think it's funny the idea of like the actors that he has, and then like the timing of when they get famous. Like because I was with Cabin in the Woods, their timing was horrendous with Chris Hemsworth. Like by the time that Cabin in the Woods, by the time that Cabin came out, Chris Hemsworth was known was Thor, but in the time they shot it, he was nobody, less of someone. So it's just funny seeing him in this like tiny movie, and then he's at the same time this like major character. I don't know. I liked it. I also think there's things that like after the kill that have like once we get through the rest of the kill, like the rest of the movie, I think is why I love it so much, of like the continuation of the story.
Well, we can go into it. I think, does anybody else have anything to talk about for the kill itself?
Sound design was great.
Sound design. Beautiful.
Epic.
How did you feel as a prop master of having one prop of the chairlift and some skis? We'd be like, oh, that's easy. My job's done.
Really impressive. The prop person was probably just standing there drinking coffee, honestly. And then, so
you got to be like, do I want the pink skis or the green skis? And just like,
and then you just think about it.
Yeah. Would you prefer to have things that are simple like that, or like the really challenging, like?
Oh, I prefer a challenge. 100%.
No, it's what like there. I picked the blue skis and walk away.
And then you're like, okay, I'm paid.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, I'd rather have a challenge.
All right, if nobody has anything else, we can move on to the story.
Okay. So basically, after he dies in the movie, how does it continue with? I'm thinking more of like her exit from the chairlift. What is the in between?
How
does he eventually get off?
After he dies, we go to the next morning. Ashmore does successfully fucking hang across the thing, rips his fucking palms up, and he climbs down the ladder. And from what I remember, he climbs down the ladder and
with like a small jump, like a more manageable jump.
Yeah, still hurts himself. And basically he makes a break for it. And again, spoiler, wolves get to him as well.
But we don't necessarily know that yet.
We don't know that yet. But basically for Emma Bell's character, before we get into how she escaped, there's this wonderful, wonderful scene that I absolutely adore. There's two scenes that I absolutely adore. One is her hand is frozen to the fucking lip.
She fell asleep with her hand stuck to the.
And as she rips it off, her skin fucking peels. It kind of looks like what my hand looks like now. It's fucking awesome. And the other shot that I really, really enjoy, and I have a strong feeling everyone's going to give me a side eye about it.
It's not going to be what I'm going to say.
I don't know, maybe. But I love the fact that she pisses herself.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. That's realistic.
Well, I think it's amazing because she makes the comment about in the very beginning when they're first on it that she had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "No, I'll hold it. It's fine." So.
It's done. It's done very well, and it's one of those like, it's kind of, I don't know, shooting ducks in a barrel, kind of shooting fish in a barrel kind of thing, where it's like, oh, I'm going to add to the I feel sorry for this character, but that she ultimately pees herself. But it's done very, very well.
I don't think it was necessarily just giving up, like not feeling bad for her, but I think it was her giving up hope of being rescued in a way. Like she goes through this moment of like allowing herself to kind of feel like poor me, and she's not, why hold it? You're not going to get out of this. You might as well, let go. physically and emotionally in that sense. So like her crying through it was very upsetting, and
Yeah.
it made me love her character more and like want her to survive, or want someone to survive necessarily. It was just sad that like giving up moment
Yeah.
was definitely powerful.
But yeah, no, I agree. And then after that, she rocks herself out of the thing, and it all comes crashing down. Which, honestly, the best bet, because you at least have something to brace yourself with. But ultimately, it hangs and she falls, and then it falls down and it crushes her ankle and it breaks her ankle, and then she's crawling through the snow and everything like that. Like, I hate to say it, but by the time we get to all of that, I'm exhausted with the movie.
Oh.
And she's crawling through the snow and trying to make her way down. I was like, for the love of God, either let like a wolf fucking drag her ass away or let her make it. And ultimately, spoiler alert, she does.
Well, before that, you see her pass both deaths.
She
passes her initial
passes
boyfriend,
both of the bodies.
and then as she's sliding down, she realizes why the other one never came back, and realizes that he made it further down but didn't actually make it all the way.
Is that the only time you see that body? Is that
yes.
like the reveal?
Yeah. And so you see her throwing herself down the hill and just tumbling and falling, whether purposely or accidental. She's just getting down the hill, and then a car drives. She gets to the edge of the road and a car drives by, and she's just like hanging out in the snow, and they just ignore her. And then you're like, oh my God, she made it all the way down here. She's going to die. And then there's another car that did stop and save her.
There's a very awkward moment when the guy saves her. Has her in the car, and he's going to take her to the hospital. And there's this weird line that he's like, "It's going to be okay, baby." He calls her baby.
I don't remember that.
That's terrifying. Very awkward. I'm sure like he was like an older
also
guy.
Like Frozen 2. Now she's being raped in the truck.
Yeah.
That kind of freaked me out a little bit.
I don't think I caught that part.
That would have been a very even darker twist.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna die here. I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Well, that's always. Well, actually, I was gonna say there's always that argument of who would you rather run into in the woods, a man or?
Oh man, could you imagine if that was the sequel? It's just like she takes the dude takes her to his like cabin in the woods or something, and it's just like
yeah. There's a valid reason why most women will say that they would rather find the bear in the woods than the man.
I'd rather find a bear than a man in the woods.
Yeah. It's terrifying. That fear of trust and.
What if the man is a bear?
Yeah, well, they are.
Humans are the real monsters.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like in this case, it was wolves being wolves. They weren't doing it to be mean. They were
natural.
They were natural. So it wasn't like Hills Have Eyes where they're doing this purposely. Like this was completely natural. You're in their environment.
Yeah.
So.
And they're hungry.
Yeah. No, we do usually play the game of who. Now we play the game thanks to James of who should have died. Do we feel like she should have survived? Like should have died or survived? Because the two other characters died, so there's no really who should have died besides her.
I'd like how she survived. I loved that. I really did.
I agree. She was the guest, and she deserved to live.
Yeah, I don't think there was anyone else that should have died in this movie. I think the two of them.
Well, I mean, in this case, it would be more should she have died versus lived.
No, I don't. I think she should have lived. I'm normally the guy that thinks like, oh no, she should die, but like, or someone like everyone should die in a movie for the most part. But no, I think no, she needed to survive. I think. Because, like, what would be the alternate ending? Like, if they stayed on that ski lift, then it would have been like, oh, my God, we left people here. We're sued.
No, but it'd be like her getting to the edge of the road and then, like, the car running her over or something.
Oh,
it would have been fucking terrible, but also kind of funny.
I would have been hit by a truck, her head rolls off, and then the credits roll.
I would have been so mad. That would have been the ending. And that was the payoff that she gets hit by a fucking truck.
Oh my God.
It's like something I would write. Like,
I think they made you care about her. I think the initial death, you don't care about him as much. You haven't spent as much time with him. So you're upset that he died, or you're supposed to be upset because like that's a shame. But you spent the most time with her. And by the time that she pees herself and throws herself down this mountain, you want her to survive because she's been through so much.
Yeah.
And then I also
absolutely.
imagine, like we've talked about, talk about final girls and therapy and imagine that conversation. Like, what'd you do this weekend? I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
There was this ski resort. Like, that's when she would move to, like, Frozen 2 would be her moving to Hawaii and never seeing snow again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And falling
yeah.
in love with the bartender. Yeah, it would have been great.
There you go. Yeah, I think she needed to survive. Yeah, I think that was fine. I think how it was written at the end was perfectly fine, being rescued. I would have loved for it to have been Kane Hodder, because I know he was in the movie as a stunt coordinator, and I would love to have seen Kane Hodder be a hero for a change.
I would have rather seen Kane pick her up and carry her.
Yes, exactly.
And just be like this badass.
For those of you who don't know, Kane Hodder is known for playing Jason in the Friday the 13th films. He's also Victor Crowley in the Hatchet films. He's been like Adam's stunt coordinator and everything for a long time.
I think that would have been a beautiful shot of Kane
carrying
her like away from the mountain and just be this heroic, like, oh, be beautiful.
Yeah.
Sunrise behind me.
Yeah.
I would have loved
Yeah.
that.
It's wild to realize that this whole thing happened within 24 hours, like less than.
I think it was maybe like a day and a half.
I don't think did she make it another night?
No, I think the majority of it happens the second day.
Yeah. It's just wild to be like, damn, that's a hell of a weekend.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
So Josh, I'm gonna start with you. What are your final thoughts on Frozen and the werewolf kill for this film?
So my final thoughts are, it is a very, because I like how you talked about it in the sense of real worldy. So it's like that Final Destination error strictly with nature. And it's just like, this is scary, not because it excites you, but because not only can this really happen, this does really happen.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah, I enjoyed it for that.
Nice. How about you, Chris?
Oof, man, starting out this movie, I wasn't too sure about it. Like I didn't like these characters, and I didn't like how they talked to the girl in the group, and I didn't like a lot of things. But then once they got up on that lift and they were put into that situation, it just took off from there. It just like went to the moon, honestly. And it was a fascinating movie, really well done. I'm gonna recommend this to everybody else. And the kill was it was a good one. It was a good kill. Any type of devouring situation, always brutal.
Oh yeah. Julia, with all of our conversations and everything like that, like, what are your final thoughts on it? Like, do you want to see this movie? Do you not want to see this movie? Like, what do you think about it?
I'm gonna go home and watch this movie, especially because hearing you say that the first half of it is foreshadowing. That's the best part of storytelling, is like figuring it all out. And also, nature is scary, and nature is stronger than all of us, and it is a very realistic thing that could happen. And obviously you have to be at the ski lift for it to happen, but that's one of the scariest things. And like, the power of nature is a very humbling thing. Us as humans, like, you'll just freeze to death, or a wolf will eat you.
Yeah,
because they're hungry.
Yeah. How about you? Final thoughts?
I love this movie. I love it every time we watch it. Love everything Adam Green and Joe Lynch. The kill is just perfect, because I think it's everything leading up to the kill. Fear and the honesty of the fear and their reactions to it, her survival, the whole thing is just powerful. And I absolutely love this movie and would recommend it to everybody.
Hell yeah.
It's an interesting, like, opposite to this movie, similar type of thriller situation where the person's stuck in one spot. You ever see the movie Phone Booth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like instead of being in the middle of nature, in the middle of nowhere, no one can hear you. You're literally in the middle, trapped in a glass box, surrounded by everyone, and you can't like call for help. It's just like a weird dichotomy.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, Colin
love
Farrell.
that.
Damn,
I was always into that movie. Everybody hated that movie when it came out, but I watched it when it came out. It's like, I like that movie. It was a cool movie. It's like one of those movies that everybody hates it. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was
But,
decent from what I remember. It's been so long since I
yeah,
watched. God
hang
damn
up, I will kill you.
it.
So good, so good. But yeah,
So for my final thoughts, as I said, as the years went on, like I still enjoy this movie. I still recommend this movie. As the years gone on, I found little tidbits that I didn't like in terms of like dialogue stuff, like things that would make a character endearing. I thought was just like, okay, whatever. Like the one character talking about now. I'm going to preface this by saying I have been following Adam Green for years, and Adam Green tells a lot of the same stories in multiple scripts, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it can be kind of funny to do that, but he would tell the same story of like, oh, like when I was in school, like I met this guy and he was the new kid. And it's like, oh, where do you want to sit in classroom? And he pointed at me and he sat down next to me in school. And like, that's how we became best friends. Like it's a great story. It happened to Adam in real life and he cherry picked it for Holliston. He did it for this script. And, like things like that as a fan, when it's like, oh, I've heard this before. Like I know this story. I know that. And it kind of comes from a place of like, I'm tired of hearing it, but it also comes from a place of like, oh, I'm in the loop. I get it. Like I know.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I think it's familiar. And I think if you know it, like you do that, like you're like people do that themselves. Like they'll repeat stories or the things are familiar. Like he's worked with the same people for so long that everything is repetitive. We've all worked together for a million years together, or like you've had the same friends since basically kindergarten. So like the stories will repeat. So I think in some ways that makes him more human. I know where he can kind of get beat down. Or things like some things are just like in the loop. Like we know that the girl that gave the number to Lynch in the beginning was Adam's wife at the time. Yeah. So like some of it's kind of fun when you know the universe and you know the semi Easter eggs of who the people are, or like the names of like one character being called Lynch is because of Joe Lynch, and
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
it's that. It's exhausting when the same story is told for the 1,000th time, but that is part of.
But yeah, it comes from a place of exhaustion, but it comes from a place of I get it. It's an in joke. And
was that a part of the time when you felt like a douche? That you were like enjoying?
No, because at that time I didn't know those stories.
Oh, okay. Because then you were like, I know this story.
Yeah, that wasn't until later because I didn't see Holliston yet. But overall, like, no, this movie is great. And I think it is a next level thriller that a lot of people, I think, should watch and give it a chance. I know that it can feel kind of slow and draggy because the majority of it is dialogue, but it's one of those movies where you have to have the suspension of disbelief to be like, what would you do in that fucking chair? But no,
did we mention what any of us would do in that chair?
Oh, did we?
I don't know. We talked about we all want to die.
Okay. Let me finish my thought and then we will go into that. As for the kill with the wolf, perfect. Absolutely a perfect kill in terms of effectiveness. It's horrifying. Julie, I think you hit it right with the sound design. It is a perfect kill. Like you do not need to see what happened to know what happened. And it's fucking fantastic. So yes, I recommend this film to everybody. With that note, Josh, what would you do if you were stuck in a chairlift for an entire weekend?
So the first thing I would try to do is see if there's anything I could loosen to try to get the chair to sort of fall, to take the brunt of the force. And that's the first thought I got, because I don't know the angle, so I don't know if I could swing it and then try to take off like a ski jump. I've never skied, so I don't know if I could try to get an angle and do that going downhill. So I might just try to loosen it, then hope either part of it comes down enough where it's like, okay, I can make that, or it all come down and try to hold on to the higher part of that bar and not hit my body and just let the bar take it. But hopefully I never get in that situation.
How about you, Chris?
Now that I've been thinking about it, maybe I could take one of the snowboards and maybe kind of try to use that as a zip line to go down the cable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how feasible that would be. Frankly, I was impressed the guy was even able to climb up to the cable to, shimmy himself on it. But I don't know. I think that's where my mind would lead to.
Okay.
Good idea. I like that.
Julia?
Oh, well, I'd like to say that I would be resourceful and do a combination of what I guess Sean Ashmore's character and what Emmett Bell does, like the swinging and the climbing. I don't have the upper body strength to do what Sean did. So I would maybe try, if I really want to survive, I would do what Emma did and try the swinging. But I'd probably be like, all right, I'll try again in 5 minutes. Let me take a nap. And then freeze to death because I'm sleeping.
So I feel that.
That's what would happen to me. I'd be dead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't live.
I feel that so hard.
How about you?
I agree with Julia. I know I would not have the upper body strength to attempt to climb. I also feel like just tired. So like the amount of effort that would be like, do I really like if I die, I don't have to pay my student loans. Like, like I feel the temptation to be like, all right, well, whatever happens. I like the idea of falling asleep and just being like, I'm out. I'm just going to sleep through it and then hope you never wake up.
Yep.
I feel like I would most likely probably just jump and hope for the best because I would not be outside to begin with. I don't go outside. But I don't think I would have thought about like how Chris handled like the idea of like using like, that's true. I don't know if I'd be resourceful. Like Brandon's usually the MacGyver of food and things. I don't know if I would think of that. I feel like I'd be more like Julia. I'd fall asleep. Yeah, I feel like I'd fall asleep.
I would be singing that while I was doing that.
Yeah, I think especially well, it depends on like when you would die in the process. Because especially if I saw someone die initially, I don't know if I'd have the will to fight through to make it at that point. Yeah, because it already feels doomed. I don't know.
Just take a nap.
Take a nap.
Fair.
Take a nap.
So you're that old lady on Titanic that just went to sleep.
Yep, I am.
And you're like, all right, we're drowning. I'm gonna die in my
favorite
bed.
Pillow, my favorite blankie. See you guys.
Yeah.
See you in the next
What
one.
would
Richard
Richard
Dean
Dean
Anderson
Anderson
my
do?
favorite thing.
Yeah, fucking love it. What would you do?
So I would, if we're going off of the scenario of the movie, that you're stuck in the chairlift and you know it's going to be closed and that this is what it is. I think my first reaction, like I know I wouldn't be resourceful. I believe I would have the upper body strength, but then disappoint myself halfway through. It's kind of what I would think. But I think if I knew that this was the case and I saw the lights go out and this and that, I think my immediate reaction, like I think I would tuck and roll. Like I think if I'm hanging there, I would like try to put myself in like a fetal position and kind of go, because I think here's
now,
one.
Would you say wee on the way down?
Here's one. Yeah,
you
probably.
have to.
I think one thing that they messed up with is that they waited too long, and that snow, like granted, it's already compacted from people snowboarding and this and that, but it's probably rock fucking hard by the time that they even decided that. But if you do it early enough, there could still be some powder that if you, this is me, I'm not a fucking doctor, scientist, whatever. But if you were to like tuck and roll and go down and you shatter, you land on your shoulder and you break your arm, you can at least still get up. Yeah. You know? So I think maybe like a rib break, but
now, I guess they were too high up to put their skis on and just kind of jump and ski down.
You would still break your leg.
Yeah.
That's why I think if you were to tuck and go, you'll fuck this up. Let this take the brute of the force and like kind of have, Scary Movie 2 arm for a little bit. And I take my strong hand. I think you would have been able to like get away maybe a little bit better. Because even if you suffered like one leg fucked up and the other one was okay, you can drag it more a little bit better.
Grab a stick.
Yeah. That's what I think I would do, but I wouldn't have waited as long. I would have just fucking everything was a matter of 1, 2, 3. It just you go. That would have
like
been
once the lights shut off, you're like, we're fucked.
Yeah, as soon as those lights shut off, we're like, all right, we're going.
Well,
like,
I
fuck
think there's
this.
that moment of disbelief though. Like when that happens, you're like, this can't be real. So I think there is that amount of time that needs to be allotted to be like, this cannot be actually happening before you realize maybe an hour or something that you're like, okay, no one's coming. Like, maybe not wait all night.
Yeah.
But I very much support the fall asleep and just hope to die.
Yeah.
Might as well die sleeping.
Yeah, because then you're comfy.
You're gonna die, might as well.
Yeah, no fair.
Whatever.
I just
Family will sue.
think of when Grandpa was
Finding.
stuck in the frozen cabin with that guy and he resorted to cannibalism and bit his arm.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Does anybody have anything else they want to add?
I'm not going skiing no time soon. I'd say that.
Don't go skiing.
Yeah. I would love to see if people go to ski resorts and be like, so what is the plan if this happens? And they're like, well,
Yeah,
this-
don't
but what
have a
if it does?
contingency plan in case you get stuck up there. You know.
fair.
I would imagine in realistic time or realistic life that they would have a truck that goes down the mountain and visually checks
Well, they did.
the points.
They did have that. That's what Kane Hodder was doing, and then they called him back to base because
Oh,
they
they said, yeah,
they
that's true.
thought
Or-
they
or
saw
just don't leave your phone in the freaking locker and make sure you have your phone with you so you don't get stuck up there.
Or you just listen to the guy when he says we're closing down because of a storm, and you don't say, but one more.
All those
but one
things
more."
work. This was a stupid situation they got themselves into.
I did like, we forgot to talk about in the beginning. I liked the build up to them going on the ski where they were trying to get passes cheaper.
Oh, the Brian.
It's just like,
Yeah.
well, you gave them the $100. Like, there's all the numbers between 0 and 100. You gave me 250s. What did you want me to ask for change?
Yeah.
I was like, perfect.
See, but that goes
That's
in.
perfect.
That goes into the idea of like, fuck these guys.
Yeah, I didn't feel bad that they died, like the dudes died, but I wanted her to survive. Like she was the most innocent one of the group.
Yeah.
That you just, and she was happy to just stay back in the lodge and hang out, and
She could have.
she could have been fine.
That's true. If she stayed, if there was someone who was
Yeah.
Could
there.
have helped.
Yeah,
but
she coulda-
no.
I mean, she could have been like, "Hey, they haven't come back. Where are they?"
Yeah.
No.
All
So
right.
the lesson learned is don't go outside,
Yeah.
and when in doubt, go to sleep.
Yep.
Here we go.
Great
All right.
lessons.
Yeah. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode of Kill of the Week. Thank you, Julia, for joining us this week. If anybody is on the socials, you can follow us on everything that is under Jerks Productions. You can follow me on Letterboxd at Falcone123. Let's see what my Letterboxd score was for this movie. I tend to put everything that we watch on there with purpose. So Adam Green's Frozen, I gave this 3.5 stars is what I logged Frozen as. 3.5 out of 5. It's not a bad
Do you
score.
have comments on what you didn't like?
Did I actually write something? I don't think I did.
You should write.
No, I didn't write things. I just gave it a heart because I liked it. And yeah, 3.5 stars.
That's fair.
Yeah. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks with a brand new episode of Kill of the Week.